This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. If you click on the link in the description below, it'll take you to their store and they'll know I sent you there. Alright, before we jump into another Strixhaven draft, I want to remind everyone that Card Kingdom sponsors my content. They have a great store where you can buy Strixhaven singles and sealed product, and you can visit that store by clicking on the link in the description below on YouTube or the logo below on Twitch. I think we'll probably just be taking the the Gnarled Professor. It's a great card, you know, learns for you, has good stats, it's very efficient. You know, Hunt for Specimens has been, you know, better than it looks overall, but I'd say this pack, you know, probably goes Gnarled Professor, Mage Hunter's Onslaught. And once you drop below those things, it's not amazing. I mean, you know, Guiding Voice and Hunt for Specimens are both pretty nice little learn commons, but yeah, it's not an awesome pack, but we're going to take the Gnarled Professor here for sure. Mr. Treefolk Professor. So this is pretty powerful. I've seen it be quite good overall. It's really not that hard to make it work. That said, we do also have an Igneous Inspiration here, another really powerful learn card. And yeah, I know red-green's not really a color pair, but I think this is probably strong enough that we still want to take it. It's just a 2-for-1 basically all the time. It's, you know, it'd be a good card without learn. With learn, it's really good. It's kind of like Gnarled Professor in that sense. I do think we take Igneous Inspiration over the Hall of Oracles. The Hall is quite good, though. But, you know, I think Igneous Inspiration is something you take over it. Okay, well, Maelstrom Muse is quite strong and one of the really key cards I find in the blue-red deck. And it's probably what I'm going to take here. I think it's good enough to speculate on. And this pack's, again, not a great one. You know, other than our Muse, Guiding Voice, Pest Summoning are nice. Not to mention Spectacle Mage, but let's take the Maelstrom Muse there. Okay, so lots of potentially good picks here. Elemental Masterpiece is a nice, you know, top curve card to have when you have Maelstrom Muse. Dust Speaker is quite good at drawing you extra cards, especially in the later part of the game. Tome Treader is pretty good too. I'm kind of leaning towards the Masterpiece and seeing if we can make that work. Yeah, I think that is where we'll go. Rise of Exodus has been an overperformer as well, but let's take the Masterpiece. May not be playing our Professor. Okay, here's another Elemental Masterpiece. I don't know that I want to take a second one just yet. Teach by Example, also been better than Fork Effects basically ever are in this format. So, Pillar Drop Warden's pretty good too. So, I mean, I like Faithless Looting. I like the card selection it gives you. It also triggers Magecraft really easily. You know, yeah. Maybe we just want Pillar Drop Warden number 1, though. It's pretty key. If we're going to be in a Prismari deck, I've felt like it's been pretty key overall as a card for this deck. Like, it really sets things up for you. Lets you get back your powerful spells, etc. Zephyr Boot's not bad either, but I think we will take Pillar Drop Warden here. Okay. So, Spirit Summoning is a nice lesson. Illustrious Historian's a fine 2-drop. I'm kind of leaning towards going with the lesson here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll take the lesson. It does look like red is very open, by the way. Especially maybe red-white, even more so. But let's take a lesson here. Okay, there's another lesson, but it's not really one that's on color for us. This one is, though, and I'm probably just going to take it over Tome Shredder. Right now, we only have one card with Learn that looks like we're going to play. I mean, we have Gnarled Professor, but green has not appeared to be super open, unfortunately. Okay, so Frostboil Snarl is nice fixing, but I think we probably want to take Pigment Storm or Elemental Masterpiece more here. Seems like these are just wheeling all over the place. I think we'll take a Pigment Storm. It's nice removal. It's not amazing, but if we can reduce the cost of it, and we can, or double it, which we might be able to do, it gets to be pretty silly. Okay, so yeah, this pack doesn't really have much for us at all. I think we'll grab another lesson that's pretty good. Okay, so the Dust Speaker came back. We've got Burog Befuddler, which is fine too. This is kind of a non-bow with some stuff like Pillar Drop Warden, but I think we probably still want it. We definitely need enough spells, but yeah. Okay, we'll take Prismari Campus here. I like Prismari Campus. The campuses in general have been pretty good. Alright, we'll take a Symmetry Sage. I mean, I think you need a ton of Magecraft for it to ever be worth it, but, you know, maybe we'll get there. Right now, Gnarl Professor doesn't look that likely, but I guess we're not completely locked in on blue either, but we also don't really want to be red-green. So, you know, because that's not really a, you know, we don't have access to gold cards if we're red-green, or not easy access to them. We did get 3 pretty good lessons in that first pack, so we're going to be interested in learning. I mean, you usually are in this format, but we had a pretty good start in terms of lessons. So yeah, like a second Maelstrom Muse, a couple of those Windrakes. Okay, we'll take this. Not sure we'll play it for sure. You have to end up with like the right composition, but it'll make the cut sometimes. But yeah, the Windrakes that reduce the cost of big spells would be nice, as would like another Maelstrom Muse. And then, you know, cards like Pigment Storm and Elemental Masterpiece get to be pretty awesome when you can consistently reduce their cost. Right, I mean, you know, kind of doubt it makes the cut. We'll put it over here for now, but you know, if we end up with ways to pump our stuff, it does suddenly get a lot better. Ooh, Elite Spellbinder. How are you going to do that to me? Well, you know, I think it's good enough. We'd probably take it. You know, the ability it has to disrupt is very good, and it also just has aggressive stats. Combat Professor is also really good, but, you know, we could splash the Spellbinder. It's not amazing on a splash, admittedly, but we could do it. And it's not like we're giving up a ton with this pack. I mean, sure, we'd like, you know, learn cards, like Arcane Subtraction or things like that, but Spellbinder is really good. I think we do take it here. We could end up red-white still. I mean, that's not out of the question. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and take it here. If there was something really good for where we already are, I would probably think about it, but it didn't really look like that was the case, unfortunately. But we do have a random Star Pupil and Twin Scroll Shaman. Both of those can work in the red-white deck relatively well. And we'd still have access to all 3 of our lessons, so that's good. Despark. Pretty good removal spell overall. Okay. I'm leaning towards Kelpie Guide a little bit here. It helps us ramp, which I think we'll be interested in. I mean, we already basically are. And in the late game, it does other stuff, you know, tap stuff down. It's definitely better in the blue-green deck where you're much more frequently grabbing, like, ramp spells, traditional ramp spells, but it's still pretty good in any deck. I mean, untapping stuff is pretty real. And I think we'll take Kelpie Guide here. Hello, Justin. Glad you made it to the stream. Okay. Well, so Professor of Symbology is great. Might be worth thinking about taking this white card here, because I think our other options are pretty medium. You know, Illustrious Historian is fine. Serpentine Curve, pretty much the same. You know, we have lots of fine cards, but Professor of Symbology is really good. Not to mention Professor of Zoomancy. Both of those are quite good cards. I think I'm taking Professor of Symbology here. I think there's a chance we end up red-white if we continue to see things like this. Yeah. So I'll take the Professor. Plus, the, you know, Elite Spellbinder is one of our best cards, and right now it doesn't really look like we'll be playing it. So, yeah. Okay. Well, another pretty good lesson. Then we have Illustrious Historian, a fine 2-drop, and Tome Shredder, a nice 3-drop, especially if we end up with some of the payoff from removing stuff from our graveyard. Again, it is kind of a non-bow with our Dust Speaker. Sometimes it just doesn't work out to do that. The Historian, meanwhile, is just a good 2-drop. It gives you late game value. You know, I feel fine about both of them. I think we're taking one of them. And I'm leaning towards the Historian. We have so few 2-drops right now that I think we kind of need to get a few of those. Okay, well, here's a Prismari Pledge Mage, which we could play even if we're not blue-red, but it is a pretty good little 2-drop for the blue-red deck. And, yeah, I mean, Pilgrim of the Ages is nice. And maybe I can see myself taking it over the Pledge Mage, actually. Especially when we have a really good card in white. Yeah. You know, I think I'm going to take the Pilgrim. I think I'm going to do it. Should I do it? Yeah, Rise of Exodus is nice. It doesn't really feel like we're in a deck that wants to do that. So, yeah, I'll go with the Pilgrim there. See if I regret that at all. Okay, so this is an okay 2-drop. These are 2. But I think this is actually a better 2-drop than either of them. It's not great, but it's fine. So I think we'll take Blood Age General here. Okay, well, alright. So here's a Guiding Voice. I think we just grabbed that. I think we're probably red-white. Although green does look crazy open. We've seen a few signs of that, but this pack is especially crazy with the Professor still here. And, you know, I mean, Biograph's not crazy, but it is pretty good. Okay, so then there's a Lorehold Apprentice. So I think we're red-white, and that doesn't mean we lose that much, frankly. We lose some stuff. And we can even splash still, because we have a Prismari Campus, but, you know. Yeah, let's take the Apprentice here. So Campus Guide could help us splash. Make Your Mark is a solid trick. Biblioplex Assistant rebuying stuff matters sometimes. Right now, we look more like an aggro deck than anything, so I think maybe I want Make Your Mark more. Okay, so here's another Illustrious Historian. I do like Enthusiastic Study and Stonebound Mentor, but I've been pretty happy with the Historian, you know, more so than these cards overall. Yeah. Those are all perfectly solid cards, but, you know. So right now, I don't think there's anything in blue we really want to splash. I don't think we're going to be a deck interested in trying to Elemental Masterpiece, for example. Wow, okay. Well, this pack is interesting. So, oh yeah, I already have a few. I need to remember I have a few cards in the sideboard, but Dueling Coach and Star Pupil are both fine. I think I am going to take the Coach here. I think we have enough +1/+1 counter stuff. Okay, we'll grab a Revitalize. Kind of doubt we play it, barring something crazy. But yeah, we do have a Star Pupil. And Twin Scroll Shaman, which we'll play. If we end up with enough +1/+1 counter stuff, Twin Scroll Shaman's fine. And we do, you know, have a couple cards. Of course. Of course, there's an Elemental Expressionist after we sort of moved out of blue-red. Yeah, that's rough. But, you know, and this pack doesn't really have anything that makes me feel better about that. So, you know, that sucks. But yeah, blue really isn't open. And you basically have to be blue-red to play this consistently. So I may just take a Stonebound Mentor here, which is not great, but it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, we'll take the Mentor. Another Illustrious Historian, huh? Also the Pledge Mage. Am I more interested in the Pledge Mage? We could also, you know, no, we can't. Just kidding. There's not. We can only really splash blue cards at this point. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to grab another Illustrious Historian here. Okay, so maybe I want an Enthusiastic Study now. Oh, or maybe Study Break. This does have a decent other side. But Study Break's pretty good in these aggro decks. We do, you know, we already have a lot of lessons, but we kind of want even more of them at this point. I think I'm going to grab Study Break here over the other options. Is Enthusiastic Study just better? I kind of think it is, a little more consistently. Yeah. It also goes quite well with our Double Strike guy. Explosive welcome. Yeah, that's not for us. Reconstruct history is too hard to make work. So we could take another historian, but I kind of feel like grabbing another lesson might just be better. It probably is, and that's what we're going to do. Lowerhold Campus worth a look, but I think we're going to grab another lesson there. Okay, so we're not really doing a good enough job of like loading up our graveyard for Lowerhold Excavation to be a good idea. Semester's End is interesting. I haven't played with it or against it yet, but I've seen that people have rated it all over the place. But, it is situational. It's not always going to work out for you. And that's, frustrating. Maybe I just want another guiding voice. Yeah, I think we do. I mean, it's just been really good in terms of, like, learning and making something bigger. So, yeah, I think that's where we want to go. Okay, so Clever Luminancer is not going to be great in this deck. We don't really have enough spells to make any kind of sense. We'll grab another Enthusiastic Study. So here's another lesson. Another Enthusiastic Study. Ooh, wow, okay. Well, we're taking Combat Professor, for sure. There aren't a lot of cards that would like still be in a pack normally that I would take over another lesson, given how much learn we have. But Combat Professor is one of them. It's really good, so... Okay, so Rise of Extus, I don't know that we're a deck interested in a big 6-drop like that. I think I'm just going to take another Intro to Annihilation. I'll take an Access Tunnel. Okay, late Lowerhold Campus. I'm happy with that. So we're basically an aggro deck. Red-white does end up there. Maybe even a little more often than it ends up in like the grindy kind of deck that it sort of looked like red-white was going to be. So these are both fine. We're doing well on 2-drops. I kind of think maybe we'd rather have Fuming Effigy here. Yeah, this is probably not a Pillar Drop Warden deck anymore. May not really be an Ardent Dustspeaker deck either. As current it looks right now. Alright, we'll take another one. So we ended up with a lot of lessons. 1, 2, 3... Wait a second. There's more than that. Oh yeah, 4, 5, yeah. So I think we have 5 lessons, which is good. Okay, well, I think I'll take Semester's End here. Lowerhold Excavation, if your deck is better at, utilizing the graveyard, like you have Quintoriuses and stuff like that, then it gets to be really good, but you kind of do have to end up in the right deck for it. I am just interested in playing this. It's such a weird card that I think I'm going to give it a shot just to see. Because, yeah, I mean, it is situational, but... to me, it does seem like there might be enough situations where it actually makes sense, so, yeah. Alright, so is this just straight up our deck? I think it might be. So we're at 9, we're at 9/9, so I think we can get away with running Access Tunnel, as a utility land, because our mana is good enough. But yeah, the question is whether I want Ardent Dustspeaker at all, but then the question is what would I run instead, I guess Pillar Drop Warden might be a little better. You could also throw in another trick. I don't know. I think we probably have enough instants and sorceries. We have 8 for it to work out okay. I mean, it's not ideal in this deck, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah. Alright, so deck looks pretty good. It's not incredible, I don't think, but, we'll see. Lots of learn, I think, is our main deal with this deck. Learn aggro, I suppose. Too bad blue-red wasn't open, because we had a pretty good blue-red start, and then we got that rare in that last pack, but I think our deck would be pretty bad if we'd like forced blue-red in this draft. Okay, looks pretty good to me. Right, so we're probably up against another aggro deck, the red-white one, which I think is like the premier aggro deck in this format. It's like a color pair where they really designed it as an aggro deck, as opposed to this one, which sort of ends up there, but wasn't really designed in this format to be an aggro deck. Yeah. That's not good. That double learn on that turn with what they got is really not good. It's hard to beat, you know, anytime there's like really good equipment around, it's hard to beat it in limited usually because there just aren't good ways to blow up artifacts. Like there's just not. Yeah, that's a problem. So I think we kind of have to sort of pretend to race. But, oh, I forgot to change my scene, actually. Hold on a second here. I forgot I've changed how this works. There we go. That's not what I'm looking for either. Here we go. There it is. We played our Stonebound Mentor. That's pretty much all that happened there. I'm not liking how this game is panning out so far with Poet's Quill over there. It's kind of a nightmare. Game sounds loud, huh? I mean, Poet's Quill isn't even really... I mean, I'm sure it's Silver Quill flavor-wise, but obviously you can play it in any... It's monocolored, so... Ah, I see. Where I have my camera is also where I have chat. That's not ideal. Okay, so we're just going to take this. Can't really do anything about that. Here we go. That's probably better. Okay. Work in progress, you know. So, I think playing Twin Scroll Shaman here is kind of interesting. Yeah, I think we play Twin Scroll and end our turn. But yeah, Silver Quill is very challenging to... I mean, Poet's Quill is hard to beat. First time I've actually had to deal with it. But yeah, it's another one of these learn cards where in the start video it's like, okay, well you play this all the time without learn, so this is going to be really good. Combat Professor. So I can use Make Your Mark plus a block with Twin Scroll Shaman here to kill this thing, and that's what we're going to do. They still gain 1,000,000 life. But, you know. Yeah, I really wish I had that lesson that blew up artifacts right about now, you know? So we're going to play our Dust Speaker here. Hi, Castleman Punk. Hope you're having a good day, too. So normally, I feel like what we'd be doing would be pretty great, like the way this game has panned out. But our opponent's at 23, and they have Poet's Quill in play, so it's not looking great. Oh, I forgot I can exile it. Oh man, I should have thought of that sooner, because now we might just be dead. I forgot I can exile it with one of my lessons, which is definitely... Oh god, okay. Well, they have Mascot Exhibition anyway. We weren't winning this thing. It wasn't gonna happen. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna attack here with our Dust Speaker. And you know what? I guess we may as well attack with all three of these guys. Yeah. Because we can use Enthusiastic Study to do a thing. Wow. Even with the Scry, we were going to hit all lands, so... Okay, so let's Enthusiastic Study here. I think we're going to be a little too late. Because I'm dumb. But, yeah. Okay, so... I may just have to kill the Professor before I ever kill the Quill, because the Professor having flying right now means we're dead next turn. So, need to remember I have this for the important utility. I was sort of resigned to getting owned by Poet's Quill, but turns out, kind of had a way out. So all they need to do here is play Inkling Summoning, and they can basically win next turn, barring... What do I would need to draw another removal spell, basically. So... Ah. I don't think we quite have enough mana to swing it, unfortunately. I wish we did. Ooh, we do have Dust Speaker, who might find us what we need. So, yeah, if we go Guiding Voice... Put the counter on what? Let's go with the Mentor, I guess. Then grab our other Intro to Annihilation. Then, so if I'd done this earlier, we may really have won this game, especially because they're far away from Mascot Exhibition mana. So it's a little frustrating, of course, but, you know. Then we're going to attack with Dust Speaker and Mentor. There's no real reason to attack all, you know, except for the fact they can't block anyway, I guess. So let's attack with everything. And do that. Yeah, that's not going to save us, unfortunately. Man, it's too bad I don't have another trick. I'm going to blow up this Quill. And we're dead. Yeah, that was partly me. You know, not just running up against a good deck. If I had wished earlier for our Intro to Annihilation, I think there's a good chance we would have won. So, it's not so good. So I've added a current record thing, as you can see. Okay, what the heck? Oh, I guess chat's bigger than I thought it was. It's like covering me entirely now. Let's see how it does there. I guess it's maybe just better above the camera. What will that cover up? Ooh, this is a good hand. Nice curve out overall. Yeah. Okay, I guess where it is looks fine. I'm going to play the Professor first. Oh, well, nah, there's no reason to. They're playing green. Sometimes, you know, playing it first actually matters because they're less likely to kill your guy, but... So I think we want more creatures right now, more than we want, you know, the other stuff we have access to here. Looks likely to me that, like, next turn we probably kill something with Inspiration and then Enthusiastic Study when we attack or something. So I'm kind of trying to decide whether I'd rather have Elemental Summoning. I think we would. Okay, so the fact that this only gives +1 here is a little brutal, but it's probably worth it still. If I like attack with Star People here, for example, yeah, I think we do it. I guess I could just attack with both. Honestly, I'm gonna lose one of them, but the lesson will replace one of them. I mean, Star People's better to attack with because we get some value out of it, but... Yeah, let's just attack with the Pupil here. I'm sure they just take it. No, they're not going to. Okay. I think I'm okay with that overall. So here, I'm more interested in grabbing Removal now. I mean, the good news is I still have yet another Learn card. But yeah, I think we'll grab Removal here. Then put the counter on our Professor. Good morning, Clintistick. Nice. That's what we want to see. You know, it'd be nice if we had something we could play here like that Spirit Summoning, but, you know, I can't complain too much about this situation, I don't think. Alright, well, I really can't complain, I guess. I really can't do it. I think they were color screwed. Seemed that way, anyway. Yep, I think we can keep this. I mean, we do have the problem of, you know, not being able to play Laurel Apprentice, but we have two other 2-drops. We have plenty of time to draw more cards, so I think this is fine. And look, we drew it anyway. The Apprentice is just a better attacker. I think I am going to play it instead here. Its ability, like, while it comes up, doesn't come up that often. A lot of it, I mean, it's mostly a 2-mana 2/2, you know. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna kill that just yet. Yeah, I'm not worried about that enough to kill it just yet. So we'll just play a Historian here. I mean, I would trade if they attacked there. Ooh. So obviously, with Dueling Coach, like, the sweet thing to do is to put a dueling, counter on it. I think we can go ahead and Igneous Inspiration the Mentor here. Yeah. And we'll grab... We don't have a 5th land right now. That's kind of awkward, but it's not like we don't have other things to play, so I think I'll grab the Summoning here. And I think we attack with both. Hi, Fuzznuts. Yep, I'm 6'3". That is true. Uh-oh. Well, That sure makes me wish I'd wished for something else. The good news is right now they don't have anything to grab, but that's probably not going to continue for a super long time. Guess I should just be... It feels like I should just be grabbing... The way the games have panned out, it's like... Should I just be getting the intro to Annihilation every time? Because I'm feeling that way. Especially because I had a turn 4 play anyway. Probably was the right thing to do. More aggressively make sure I have removal in case things go sideways. Okay, well that helps a lot. With the amount of mana they have up, it could end up going kind of sideways. So I think I'm just going to attack with the 4/4 here. Could get expelled or something. I think expel is pretty likely, actually. Okay, well maybe it's not. Alright, so if we can get a double block here, I think we're going to be really happy. They're probably just taking it, though. Yeah, they are just taking it. Okay, so let's do that damage. So now they can cast that for free, but that's not a disaster for us. So I think we play Twin Scroll Shaman and Illustrious Historian here. We're just going to try to run them over here. That's basically the plan. Seems like there's a better place for me to put chat. I guess maybe all the way on the other side makes the most sense. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, so they throw a possibility. Did they mean to discard an island? That seems weird. Don't really see a reason to block there. Alright, so Enthusiastic Study plus Make Your Mark is going to do some heavy lifting here. So let's attack with everything. Yeah. We should be able to get them low enough that there's a good chance we find a way to... kill them with Access Tunnel next turn, but we'll see how they block. Okay, so doesn't that mean if I just put both tricks on Twin Scroll Shaman, they're dead because they're taking 6, and these two combined will make it... Yeah, so that means they're dead because it'll have 5 power and trample, and it'll trample over for 8. Yeah, so... And they're tapped out, and they're not gaining life or anything, so yeah. This time we'll grab an Intro to Annihilation. Alright. That worked out. Glad we went with the Enthusiastic Studies. I wasn't sure I was going to play as many as we are, but I think it has, you know... It works really well if you're an aggro deck, that's for sure. Especially when you have a bunch of good stuff to learn. So, really, I'm glad. I mean, in that game, they played a really powerful card, but they just couldn't really take advantage of it. They got one Thrill of Possibility out of it, which I'm sure was frustrating for them. Okay, this seems fine. You know, it's a little more mana light than I would like, but it's fine. There's our friend Enthusiastic Study. Nice. I guess we're going to lead with the Historian here. So, I think we probably just want to kill that with Igneous Inspiration. And I think we will grab removal. I guess I could have attacked first, but there's virtually no way they were blocking there. But yeah, we don't really want them to be ramping. Okay. So, I think we'll probably just play Dueling Coach here and put the counter on our Historian. I like that card. It has such a cool design, and I also just think it's, you know, pretty nice and limited. It's like a very cool divination variant. Ooh. So I think I probably just attack with both here, and if they block, use Enthusiastic Study and play Blood Age General. If they don't block, I probably play Elite Spellbinder and Blood Age General. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to do the Enthusiastic Study plan, which will work out really well here. So, given we already have one intro to Annihilation, I think this time we'll grab a creature. Yeah, that's all we're gonna do. Then we'll play another 2-drop. Hi, the Duke. Glad you like the content. Yeah, I just added that record counter today, as I guess you probably know since you watched a lot of my content. So, I think we probably just intro to Annihilation that Serpent and attack for 7 here. We have Access Tunnel in play, so yeah. Yeah, that does slow our roll a bit. Wow, drawing another Enthusiastic Study here is pretty awesome. That should get pretty close to giving us lethal. They do have 1 red mana, so like shock. There's some potential for a shock here, but I think we still do it. And we'd rather hold on to the coach than the general. Let's grab another intro just in case. So that's going to trample for 3. Yeah, so using Make Your Mark here seems unnecessary. I could use it to kill this and still keep a creature on the table. Yeah, that seems pretty good, actually. Especially when they're at 2. Well, thank God. Thank God Nasari's not going to kill us here. Yeah, so we're just going to go Access Tunnel. Yeah. Yeah, I may just need to shrink chat to find the best place to put it. Like, it probably doesn't need to be this big, and if it's not as big, I think it works over here a lot better. But yeah. Sort of tinkering with it lately to make it better than it is, but I certainly think I succeeded with the draft because now my camera doesn't cover anything relevant, but yeah. I could also just shrink chat to one message. Like, I think that I've seen other streamers do that, and that definitely saves some space. Oh yeah, I guess we're 3-1 now. Takes some getting used to needing to update the old record like after each game. All right, pretty good. Yeah, this is a deck where Twin Scroll Shaman really does shine. Because we have +1/+1 counters and tricks, and the Shaman is just like, you know, enjoying itself. So like, you know, Guiding Voice on the Shaman seems pretty good, for example. Don't know if that's where we're going to go, but, you know. Yeah, I am playing Lorehold. It's funny. And I have 3 Illustrious Historians, so that's pretty funny for me. Seen a lot of Professors of Symbology today. It's a nice card. Ooh, so is that. Okay, so we're gonna attack here. There's basically no way they block. I mean, if they do, I don't know. It's kind of a wash. It's pretty brave to block here, but I guess even if I have the trick, that can be a problem. It wouldn't have saved my creature, so. Okay. Well, their hand is really scary. So we probably go for Dramatic Finale. I think it's good enough that I'm worried about it. They can Divine Gambit us, which kind of sucks. But they're not that far away from being able to play it, even if my Spellbinder does its thing. So yeah, I think we take the Finale here. Those Combat Professors are not going to be very much fun. Okay, so we're going to attack. I think we're just going to play Stonebound Mentor here. So yeah, those Combat Professors are going to make my Spellbinder unable to attack in the air. Okay, it does look like they don't have the ability to play it this turn, so that's good. People are taking this so highly now. I remember in the early part of this format, we were drafting like... I mean, it's still early, I guess, but even earlier, we were drafting so many of those. Okay, so... let's attack with our Mentor. And then the question is... should I have just played my Professor and Guiding Voice this turn? Maybe. I think we'll play Twin Scroll Shaman here. Yeah, okay. So, you know they have Divine Gambit. I think I'm going to use Guiding Voice on Twin Scroll Shaman here. And then play another Illustrious Historian. Yeah. I think we want the removal. Especially because we know they have this freaking thing. So if they Divine Gambit, I do get to put a Fuming Effigy into play. It's not bad. I don't know why they would, though, at this point. They can really wait. I mean, they're not under that much... Yeah, I was gonna say, they're not under that much pressure. They may as well just do it. Oof. Yeah, right now our inability to find, you know, lands. It's pretty rough. I still think we attack with both of these. Yeah, I mean, they can set up double blocks here, but they would result in the Professor dying, which I'd be happy about. Yeah. I just take it. I think that makes sense. I'm going to play Professor of Symbology here. And here we'll grab... I think we're going to just grab a Spirit Summoning, because it lets us add to the board if we whiff on a land again. So... That would be good. We actually only have one more, like, decent-ish permanent in our hand to take advantage of with Divine Gambit. Yeah, so we need a 4th and 5th land, preferably. That'd be good. I think I'd just play another Combat Professor, yeah. I think that's what I'd do if I was them. I don't know what else they have in their hand, but that seemed like the right call to me. Okay, that will get us a land, so that's nice. So I think we just go for it again with these two. No matter what, we get to take things down. Well, not no matter what. They could have, like, Lash, the 1 black mana, +2/-2 card. But yeah, we definitely play our Pilgrim here. We could really use the additional mana, so... You know, if I had that trick, this would be amazing, but obviously I don't have it, so... Though they don't know that. They may be worried about it. I guess if they really were, they'd probably block Twin Scroll Shaman. Since it can do 10 off of that trick right here. I'm hoping Pigment Storm maybe helps us do lethal at some point. That'd be cool. Yeah, so we want to kill Combat Professor. Obviously enough. Then we play our Pilgrim. Grab a Plains. Play a Plains. So, Pigment Storm could end up being pretty big here. Should we hit a 5th land. I'm really glad we hit that, by the way, because things would not be so good if we hadn't. Okay, so if we draw a land here, I think we basically win. Like... pretty much. We do have to draw it. I think they may be about to Divine Gambit, yeah. Alright, well, I do think it's a downgrade, but it's not a big one. Well, it did have to be an untapped land to win this turn, unfortunately for us. Okay. Well, I think he's going to rumble. I think everyone else stays behind. We'll be able to Pigment Storm next turn, which will be good. wonder if they have a Wrath. That'd be fun. So Pigment Storm's still looking pretty good. Yeah, Inkling Summoning. Not awesome for them. Okay, so I probably Pigment Storm the Flyer. They do have mana up, so if things go wrong, making sure their best creature is gone seems worth it. And it's could just be lethal anyway, so... Yeah, Pigment Storm, Combat Professor. Drops them to 6. Yeah, and that will be lethal without something on their part. Yeah. There's 2 Wraths in Mystical Archive, and then there's also the White Mastery as a Wrath. In the Mystical Archive, it's Day of Judgment and Crux of Fate. Pretty good hand. They've got their Quintorius avatar. I actually have one of those too, but I didn't really see a reason to change from Karn, even if Quintorius is a historian. Yeah, I forgot we have this weird card in our deck that probably isn't very good, but I do want to play with it, get a feel for it. Okay. So, I'm in a Guiding Voice here. There's not a lot they could do to interact, so I think it's fine to do it here. It also sets up more effective Enthusiastic Study. There are red sweepers. Maybe. There's the black-green one, too. But I don't call those Wraths. I only call Wraths things that destroy or exile everything. Not just, like, do 2 or 3 damage. Those are sweepers, like you said, Dracos. I use the word sweeper there, too. So we don't have any removal right now. I'm inclined to grab our Introduction to Annihilation as a result. Yeah, Devastating Mastery, I think I underestimated how difficult its mana cost would be. Nice. I mean, it just ends up being a trade. And we get some value in the later part of the game out of our Illustrious Historian. So, it doesn't hurt my feelings too much. Thank you for the follow, Literal Lucifer AC Willer. Okay. So yeah, Semester's End is going to be pretty awkward here, I feel like, but we'll see. We will see. That's not what I planned for. Okay. Well, I mean, I can use Enthusiastic Study to take the thing down, but they really come out ahead there still. I think we probably still do it. I think there's also a significant chance they just don't block. So you know. They do, though. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and Enthusiastic Study. Do we want Elemental Summoning? I guess so. Oof. I mean, I kind of make content for Standard, Justin, with my top 10 videos. But, yeah, not really planning on... I do have a new series that I might be doing a pilot episode of at some point in May that I'm thinking about doing. But it's not about current Standard or Commander, so... yeah, we're not in good shape here, obviously. We really shouldn't be running this. The more, part of the reason is because we have plus and plus one counter things going on, and the other reason is, although it does give a counter back, the other reason is all of our tokens. You know, it was an experiment, and it already feels like this ended up being as bad as most people said it was. I overrated it in my set review, it would seem. Yeah. Because it's so bad with our tokens right now. Like, it's not even funny. So... yeah, we're just going to end our turn. Probably Illustrious Historian. Does blocking and using Make Your Mark make any kind of sense here? I don't think so. I guess we can discard it to a learn effect. Yeah, that's pretty gross. Pest summoning to add to the carnage. Okay. You know, if somebody can help us get out of this. Could be Ardent Death Speaker. I can choose to only exile one thing. Which isn't too shabby, I don't think. So, I'm thinking about blocking and using Make Your Mark on our 3-2 here. It doesn't seem terrible to me. It's not great either, but... basically, I get rid of their creature and get to keep my board state. So Access Tunnel plus Dust Speaker is interesting here. So you got 7 mana, huh? So that is a thing. Kind of thinking I might just play Illustrious Historian and Intro to Annihilation the Pledge Mage here. Yeah, I think that's fine. Give them another card, but also takes away their most relevant creature. I guess I attack with my 4/4, huh? So we'll kill the Cultivator. Whoop. Almost messed that up. Semester's End might actually do a thing. That'd be cool if it actually did a thing. I'm sure they have a scary win condition somewhere in their deck. We haven't seen it yet, but... you know, an Elder Dragon or something. Wow. Look at all those Cultivators. Our opponent sure is cultivating. Oh my god. Okay. Is it time for access tunnel on our dust speaker? I think it might be. Because we're going to get run over basically no matter what. And I think maybe drawing cards is our best bet here. So let's put the guiding voice back. Oh, God. That's not what you hoped for. Two less lands I'll draw, I guess. So I may end up using Semester's End here. We'll have to see. I think I'm going to block here. And here. See what happens. Okay. So... yeah, let's just go ahead and Semester's End here. Saves our Historian, at least potentially. They may be able to wreck us here. Oh, yeah, they do. Ouchies. Yeah, it wasn't looking good already, but... oh, yeah, I guess fizzling the Learn there could have been... was definitely worth it. Lol. Yeah, so I guess we're not quite dead. We're just working on being dead. No, we are dead. Yeah, we're dead. Yeah, I mean, that whole thing was a mess. Do I cut out our Semester's End? I kind of feel like I do. I think with the number of tokens we have... I mean, you can choose what to exile, but it does seem way too situational, way too difficult to use effectively. You know, even though generally when I'm wrong about a card, I underrate them because, you know, I try to avoid thinking about the ideal scenario. Somehow, there's usually one or two cards in a set where I do it anyway. So, and I think that's one of them, which I had a feeling people were right when they were saying it wasn't very good. So yeah, I think this Luminancer, like the way our tricks and everything have panned out, I think Luminancer is actually worth it in this deck. Yeah, I think I'm happy with it in the end. Yeah, I mean, it could definitely work, but... you know, that's the thing, you know, what makes a Magic card good in any format really, but definitely in Limited, is that it's always useful, that it always does something. Virtually every card can be good in the right situation. You know, and that's what's always funny when I do my worst top 10s, there's always people who are like, well, what if I did this, this, and this with that card? And it's like, well, yeah, that's like the one way to make it work. That doesn't make it not a bad card. Like... you have to jump through hoops for this card, and it's not even worth it. Usually it's like there are literally dozens of other ways you can do X, Y, or Z. So, you know, ooh, pretty good hand. You know, I could use 2-drop if I'm being greedy, and, you know, why not? So, why not be greedy? All right. Okay. Take that. Do they have counter magic? I mean, they might, but I think it's still worth... Frost Trickster, Burying Books, Devouring Tendrils. Not loving any of that stuff. I think we go after Frost Trickster, though, because if they don't have a creature to devour with, yeah, we'll hit the Trickster. That was their turn 3 play anyway, and it can block our Spellbinder, so I think overall it gives us a really good situation. They can, of course, use Pop Quiz or Burying Books if they wanted to, but yeah. Okay. I think I'm not broken up about that. Yeah, one of the nice things about Spellbinder is it doesn't only work if the Spellbinder's in play, you know. The effect sticks around forever, which I honestly kind of didn't really realize until earlier, which is funny because I had this in another deck and got it every game, but it just never died, so it never came up. Alright, so we get in for 5 here, and then we play both these 2s. And they might have something here. Okay, they're all about burying my creatures in books, huh? So they will be able to play a Frost Trickster this turn if they want to. And another one of those, huh? Another one of those. So I think I'll play Spellbinder here and just attack with both of these and then use Make Your Mark. But yeah, let's see what they have in their hand first. So yeah, I think we go after Quandrix's Command here. At least make them pay more mana for it, right? And then yeah, we'll attack with both of those. And then we'll use Make Your Mark. So Devouring Tendrils, not great for us. But I think the command was more of a problem. So I'm okay with it. I think I would take Dramatic Finale over Swords, honestly. The way this format has panned out, nice. I kind of feel like they weren't that far behind, but I guess if they couldn't hit that extra land, they were kind of done. I mean, Swords is great, but Dramatic Finale is an incredibly difficult to beat card. You know, Swords is always just going to be a really good removal spell. It's not going to take over games. I mean, it'll certainly win you games, but it's not going to take them over the way a card like that can. It'll probably pay off. I mean, you do have to be black-white to play the finale, but, you know, it's generally not that hard. You know, sometimes it happens. Sometimes like 3 or 4 people are drafting the same color pair, but if everyone's drafting like 2, it's a lot more doable. Right, this hand's fine. More creatures would be good, but, you know, we've got Star Pupil and Guiding Voice, which can be pretty good together. So we're going to play an untapped land here. So we can play our people on turn 1, and it does mean maybe we won't be able to play this 2-drop, but if we can Guiding Voice, I don't think I'm going to be super sad about it. I mean, we could still do something next turn, is my point. Hey, Spellbinder. Am I brave enough to Guiding Voice here? With 1 red and 1 white mana available on our opponent's side of the table. I don't know that I am. I can Make Your Mark in response, which wouldn't be the worst thing ever. But I'd have to play a land first. Alright, we're going to go for it. Ah, crap. They can respond, which I was worried they might be able to, but, you know. That's okay. It's one less shock for our Spellbinder, you know? Getting 2 for 1's no big deal, right? Morning, PP McGee. Yeah, it was probably an unnecessary risk, but I feel like the upside was worth it. But yeah. Ooh, that's not so good. Okay. The player's Spellbinder here. Ooh. So guess we go after closing statement. Yeah. I guess they don't have black mana, huh? Probably should have paid attention to that fact. I mean, they do now, but they have to filter, which is generally not what you want to be doing. So we kind of want them to tap out, because if they don't, they can just God's Willing Mila when we Pigment Storm. Same is true in terms of attacking into Mila. Yeah, so we just take 2 here. If that's what their plan is, you know, that's what we're gonna do. It's always nice to hold on to Access Tunnel until late. It's not really gonna come up in this game, but making your opponent unaware that you have this kind of reach as long as you can is generally worth it. Because if you can just like drop this, and hit them for 3 and kill them, it's gonna feel pretty good. And your opponent is not really gonna be playing around it, so. So they still don't have the mana to cast this, even in their instep. They do have the mana to cast that. So we're going to Pigment Storm here. It does kind of suck that they get to draw a card off of that, but I think killing that Dust Speaker is a big deal, given what they have already in their graveyards. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could attack first. Nah, it's not worth it. I mean, you know, my Spellbinder will get in, but yeah. Alright, so let's kill that. They get to draw a card, which I don't like. But given the situation, I think I can live with it, you know. Okay. Now they can cast their 2 black cards. I think if I were them, I'd probably play the Shield Mage. Yeah. Just because it blocks the Spellbinder. Well, maybe they're just planning on killing my Spellbinder outright. That's what it looks like. Anyway. Yep. Okay. I guess I'm just going to play Fuming Effigy here. Yeah. And they have God's Willing, so, you know. It's kind of rough. We're just going to play both these creatures here. I think we probably grab removal. Yeah, I think we want one of these. Which, you know, they'll draw 2 cards off of at this point. Which is pretty brutal. But yeah. I wish we'd gotten them significantly lower on life early than we've managed to. That's for sure. Freaking protection, man. We got to get rid of that God's Willing somehow. Good news is, it doesn't work on Intro to Annihilation, right? It's only protection. Yeah. It would be kind of funny if we get them to cast it anyway. That's a possibility. I mean, it's not a great possibility, but it is a possibility. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. So I think we go with Dueling Coach here. I think we put the counter on Twin Scroll Shaman. Then I think I attack with Twin Scroll and Fuming Effigy here. I guess Lorehold Pledge Mage can block Fuming Effigy way too effectively for that to be ideal. One of the gross things they can do, by the way, also is cast God's Willing and put a counter on a creature. Yeah, I don't think we're there yet. Kind of think we just have to end our turn. Yeah, I can make the Twin Scroll larger. I also have the 2 trample tricks, so... You know. Oh, it is sorcery only, so it's not quite as gross as it would be. I mean, it's still not really a situation where we can attack, but... It probably would have been better. The Hall doesn't actually cost 2 to use to put the counter. It just taps. But it is only sorcery speed. That part is correct. What are they doing here? That's aggressive. They wanted to scry that badly? I'm confused. I'm a little worried. Interesting. I don't know that that was worth it for our opponent. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Did they think that was going to draw them a card? Like that Mila would draw them a card off of that? I don't know. I don't know what that was, but you know, I'll take it. Definitely seemed like, I mean, we had a good board state. I think they maybe panicked about the double strike guy, and they're like, if I can't kill that, I'm going to lose. And, you know, that might have been true. But they had a few turns before that was going to kill them. It was going to take like 3 turns for that thing to kill them. But alright, so this will be our last game with this deck one way or another. Feels like it overachieved, but maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe this deck was pretty good. I mean, all the learn, anytime you cram a bunch of learn and lessons into your deck, it's going to turn out okay. And we ended up with some nice aggro stuff for sure. So ooh, not so good. We've had a lot of good hands, but this is not one of them. Alright, this one is better. I guess we're going to put back one Guiding Voice. I think Combat Professor is good enough. And we need to have... I would put this back, like, in a vacuum, maybe. But it's the only creature I can play with the hand as it is. So I think putting back Guiding Voice makes sense. Man, turn 2, Star Pupil. That's always annoying. When you draw your 2-drop, your 1-drop on turn 2. Not really what you want to be doing. Okay. Do I Guiding Voice here? Kind of think so. And guess I'll get an Intro to Annihilation for much later. So we haven't run into a Witherbloom Life Gain deck yet. I have a feeling that's not going to be the greatest matchup for us. So we'll see how we do here. As long as we can draw a 3rd land, I think we'll really be in business, because then we can get a Plains and, you know, etc. Yeah. We did it. Alright, so we're going to attack for 3 again. Then we'll play our Pilgrim. Grab a Plains. So far, it looks to me like they have the good life gain synergies, that's for sure, Anthrax. But we'll see, I guess. I'm perfectly happy trading my Pilgrim of the Ages for Brackish Trudge. Though it is worth noting, this can ping stuff when I play spells, and that matters a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Yeah, well, that we don't block. They can sack the Trudge. That would be kind of wacky if they had. Okay, so... yeah, let's play our Combat Professor here. We're going to do this. Spread the wealth a little. Then attack with both. Does it actually die? It does. I mean, it'll remain to be seen how long it stays dead, but it is dead right now. Does feel like our opponent has something planned, huh? Let's take a peek. I think this is our only rare. Well, that we ended up playing anyway. We had that pack 1, pick 1 Gnarled Professor that didn't pan out. Okay. Oh boy. Another Dina. Fuse with Vitality. I think we go for Rise of Extus here. Yeah. The other things in this hand are really situational. Rise of Extus isn't. We are in a situation where attacking with our Pilgrim of the Ages seems kind of pointless. Mostly because we know they have this, but I guess it's still not really pointless. We end up making them use up a card at least. Yeah, so let's go to combat. Give Pilgrim of the Ages... but they could also return their Trudge. Is that enough of a concern that I don't want a Pilgrim to attack here? I don't think so. I think we make them do it. They could also just let her die and play their other Dina, frankly, but, you know. I think they probably block and use their trick. Could be wrong, though. No, they are just going to let her die. Okay, so we've got 7 damage on the board right now. Yeah, it's pretty good. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess we hold on to our Intro to Annihilation. Just got Mind Rotted. So we can hit them for 7 here. It's not enough, obviously, to kill them. Yeah, so I think we just attack them in the air here. Leave Star Pupil behind. If either of them is still alive next turn, we win. Yeah. Okay, you know, I think variance was on our side in some ways here, but I do think this was a very legit, like I said, aggro deck, especially with all of the learn. Like, the learn is really, for the most part, big deal. So is the flyer guy, the invitational card was really good.